Hi everyone, what I'm going to show you is alarming to say the least. Okay, I've been looking up trimethyl aluminum, and trimethyl aluminum is even used in antidepressants, or is considered being used as in antidepressants. And also, this is what NASA is spraying in the sky, right? And it's used for semiconductors. Okay, I'll just put that in right here so you can see semiconductors. I said ORS. Semiconductors. Okay, so they're using trimethyl aluminum to create semiconductors. So if we get that in us, then we can conduct. So maybe this is the goal of getting this in us, and then we become, electronic conductors, part of the whole transhumanist thing. Okay, now something else is that it is, oh my gosh, now I forgot. Um, okay, trimethyl aluminum. Okay, so, okay, forget it. We go to this then. Popular science, okay? Popular science, okay, this is the alarming thing I want to tell you about, okay? October 22nd, 2015. You probably have carbon nanotubes in your lungs. They found children with carbon nanotubes in their lungs. Okay, this is popular science, and this is they got it from someone else. It's like nano asbestos. So do you have asthma? Does your child have asthma? Do you have a respiratory problem or whatever? I mean, maybe for some people it goes to the lungs, maybe for some people it goes to the heart, whatever. But look at this. And remember, these filaments are like 1,000th the time size or the thinness of a human hair. Okay, the body just absorbs it and incorporates it, good or bad. Here's a carbon nanotube. Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, now I remember. Trimethylene aluminum is used to make carbon nanotubes also. Okay, so for semiconductors and carbon nanotubes, and they're spraying it in the sky. They said it themselves. So no denying it. Wake up, everyone. Okay, now look at this alarming story. Carbon nanotubes are great for making stretchy super materials or detecting potentially harmful chemicals, but past studies have shown that they're probably not so good to have in your lungs. Over time, they could cause the lungs to break down with effects similar to asbestos. For the first time, researchers have found them in humans, specifically in the lungs of 64 children with asthma, according to a study published this month in eBiomedicine and reported by the New Scientist. But you didn't hear about this, right? Can you imagine carbon nanotubes inside your precious child's lungs, and then they have asthma, it can't be controlled, they can't breathe? That's sad. In the study, the researchers used several different techniques to analyze the lung fluids from 64 asthmatic kids living in Paris, chosen because they had already undergone the invasive process of removing lung fluids, which would be arduous for healthy patients. Man-made carbon nanotubes were found in each sample, which caused the researchers to conclude that humans are constantly breathing them in. Well, yeah, they're constantly breathing them in now because they're everywhere. Nanotechnology is not regulated and it's in the sky, in the atmosphere. So, using several different analytical techniques on 5 of the samples, the researchers also found carbon nanotubes inside macrophage immune cells that work with in tissues to combat pathogens. Oh my gosh. So they're even in the immune cells, messing those up. The researchers suspect that the carbon nanotubes originate in vehicle exhaust. And other places, they're blaming it on vehicle exhaust. And they found similar structures in the dust and exhaust that they tested, okay? Similar structures in the dust falling from the sky, but it's not clear if that's the only source of the carbon nanotubes. And though there's evidence that prolonged exposure to carbon nanotubes can have asbestos-like effects on the lungs, causing inflammation and lesions that can turn into cancer, the researchers aren't sure that the shape and length of the carbon nanotubes found in vehicle exhaust can cause that kind of damage. That's because it's not only found in vehicle exhaust. It's in a lot of other places because there's no regulation and no one knows. Importantly, the researchers have discovered and documented an effective way to look closely at carbon nanotubes in tissue samples. So it's in all of us now by now. Their hope, they write, is that this methodology will lead to new findings about the health effects of carbon nanotubes in the lungs. Yeah, and then what about everywhere else? So trimethyl aluminum, where is that? Where else can we find that? I wonder if it's in cigarettes. Cigarettes with because who knows what they are trying to do. Aluminum. Menthol cigarettes. Okay, well, I have to look into this a little bit more because we don't know. All these things are global and Chinese. Trimethyl aluminum. 2017, current state of the global trimethyl industry. Okay, so it's a whole interesting industry. And okay, keep in mind what I said and what these websites show. It's used to make semiconductors and carbon nanotubes, and we're breathing these in. So I guess we're going to be conductors of something. Maybe that's why people are going brain dead. And then also, as I mentioned, the antidepressants using trimethyl aluminum. Well, what is this doing to people? You know, oh my gosh, maybe this is why it's attaching itself to the brain, to the pineal gland or the amygdala or the frontal cortex or something. You know, they know how to program these things to target different places in our body, and they just enter the bloodstream and go through the most minute size of blood vessels. I have so much more to say about this, but it's really scary. Okay, thanks for watching. God bless everyone. Be safe. So I believe you can transcend even your brain, because there was a boy who was born without a brain, but he still functioned, and scientists were you know, they were confounded, and they didn't know how it could happen. Maybe there was the spirit inside of him, the Holy Spirit. So you can transcend your body, your brain, everything, and because we're spiritual beings, so we're not attached exactly to this physicality, this materiality. Because remember, everything is in your mind. Everything is in your mind. Even the materiality of this world is still, it's in the movie screen of your mind, and that's it. When you touch yourself or hurt your foot or any kind of sensory experience is all processed in the brain. So some people think there's not even an outside world. So that's something to consider. All right. And sad, isn't it? You probably have carbon nanotubes in your lungs and other places, I would add. And this is really sad for little kids. 64 kids tested in Paris found 64 kids with asthma, and asthma must be horrific because you can't breathe, and that's a terrible, terrible feeling. Scientists are out of control. It's not regulated, I'm telling you. Even high school students are all involved with, bio bricks, and they can order them online, play with it. This is biology. I think they can order E. coli. Do you want to see that? Okay, I'll show you right now. Students order bricks online or experiments. Put E. coli at the end just to see. BioBricks, gene art strings, DNA filaments, biotechnology. They even have, biowarfare, experiment with viruses that destroy bacteria. So this is like, garage biology. The biotechnology education company, or it's called backyard biology, garage biology. Okay, so here, E. coli bacteria, 30 students. They can play with this. This is how vulnerable our whole society is if just one teeny thing goes wrong. Anyway, thank you for watching. Be safe, be protected by the Holy Spirit. And because you don't have anything to worry about, it's just that awareness and the reality of the Most High, which is what's causing everything to live and grow and all of that. Look at the trees, they're growing. Everything is growing and living and producing and flowers. And where does this all come from? It's a spiritual force. It's a force. Scientists don't know anything about it. But we can lean into it and be protected by it. But you have to address it, God gave us a plan through Jesus of Nazareth. Okay? No other Christ who comes along. It's Jesus of Nazareth who paid the price, right? Okay, so I know I'm preaching to the choir sometimes on my channel. However, maybe somebody else will drop by and they'll think about it. Okay, God bless everyone. Bye for now. Breathe deep. Bye.